Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today for your practice. I'm Lauren and this is Kiwi. Maybe you can see her in the corner of your video here. And our practice today is going to be a nice, slow, well-balanced flow to release tension in the neck, shoulders, and heart space. We're also going to work a little bit on thoracic mobility, so moving the spine a little bit to just release tension along the central column of the body as well. So some things that can support us in our practice today include a block or two, a cushion or bolster of your choice, and option for a blanket, as I have here. We're going to begin our practice with a supported heart opener. So you can use pillows if you have cushions instead of a bolster or a meditation pillow. You can also use a towel instead of a blanket if that's what you have. And take a moment to consider what you would like to use for your supported heart opener. Here I have a blanket rolled up, creating this little log shape with enough length to support the length of my spine. You can also do this with a bolster or a couple of pillows. One pillow resting beneath the heart space or the upper thoracic region of your spine, and one pillow resting beneath your head to support your head and your neck. So take some time to consider what you would like to use to support your shape here, and then we'll meet supine. The sit bones are anchored to the floor. It's just the spine that is supported by your prop of choice. And if you've gone with the blanket or towel option and you have a little bit of excess reaching beyond the crown of your head, feel free to just fold that or tuck that under your head to create more of a pillow for yourself. We'll meet with the soles of the feet resting to the floor and the knees resting together, creating more of a restorative shape for the spine. And once you've found your shape, option to simply rest your arms by your sides with the palms open, or for a little bit more extension here in the upper body, you can sweep the hands overhead with soft elbows and just loosely interlace your fingertips. Encourage the back of your heart and the back of your neck to relax down with the support of your props beneath you. And begin to soften your expression here. Maybe the eyes close. Maybe the lips part gently. And take some time to connect with the rhythm of your breath. And slowly begin to smooth that out, creating a nice, even exchange between inhalations and exhalations. And as you start to connect with your breath, just notice what you can sense, what you can feel at the top of every breath in and the bottom of every breath out. Noticing perhaps subtle, perhaps obvious effects here of each phase of the breath and each cycle. And allow your breath to gently, patiently anchor you in your body and this space that you're creating for yourself. We'll take another full sip in through the nose And release the exhalation completely. When you've released your exhalation, release any bind you may have with the fingertips, resting the arms down, and then just carefully pivot to one side so that you can remove your prop of choice from beneath your spine and just rest it to one side briefly. So the back of the body is now fully anchored to the floor, the back of the spine. And bring your hands to your navel, and as you inhale, let your navel lift up into your palms. And exhale, guide the navel down to the spine. Take a gentle tuck of your tailbone under, as if you were coming into a little cat shape. And then when you're ready to inhale, navel expands up to the palms again. This time, press your tailbone into the mat, creating a little bit of space between your low back and the floor. Exhale, navel hugs the spine, tuck the tailbone under, flatten the low back against the mat. So we'll do this a couple more times. As you inhale, tailbone presses down, belly lifts, little cow shape. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, hug navel to spine, little cat shape. Good. We'll do one more. Inhale. And exhale. At the bottom of your exhalation, plug down through the soles of the feet and engage your glutes slightly so that you can lift your hips off the floor for bridge. And then grab your prop of choice and just place that beneath your sacrum or the lowermost part of your back. So you have a supported bridge here. And you can't really see with me because Kiwi is laying next to me, but this is at the very base of my spine, kind of approximating my glutes or really resting at that uppermost part of my glutes. You can fold your blanket as many times as you'd like to find the lift or the extension and support here through your sacrum that you prefer. And then we'll hug the right knee into the chest and extend the left leg long. And reach your left heel toward the front of your mat. Try to relax your upper body down and just take a little bit of movement from side to side with your right knee, creating a gentle compression and massage-like effect along the front of your right hip crease. And then guide your right knee a little bit wider, more for a half happy baby shape. And rest your left hand to your left hip crease or your left thigh and encourage the space between your left thigh and the left side of your pelvis to just slowly open and soften. We'll be here for one more cycle. Carefully lower the sole of the right foot to the floor and hug your left knee into your chest. Once the knee is hugged in, extend your right leg long, guide your heel forward to the front of your mat. And again, just take a little bit of movement on the left leg, rocking the knee side to side. And then hug your left knee closer to your left side body. Rest your right hand to your right hip or right thigh. And encourage that gentle opening through the front of the hip flexors. And just breathe deeply through any kind of stickiness or tension you may be experiencing here on the right side of the pelvis. With your next breath, lower the sole of the left foot to the floor, followed by the sole of the right foot. Tuck your tailbone under and engage your glutes. And then remove your prop from beneath your sit bones and rest your pelvis to the floor. Give the knees a hug into the chest and catch the back of the knees. We'll start to rock up and down the length of the spine. taking a few rocks to travel forward to tabletop, or you can simply turn to one side and then press yourself up to tabletop, facing the front of your mat. Go ahead and set your prop of choice aside briefly. We'll come back to it a little bit later. And walk your hands shoulder width distance apart and your knees wider than hip width distance apart. Find a little bit of engagement in the fingertips. We'll start to circle the shoulders and the hips around for dancing lion. And imagine your spine just looping around like a jump rope. It's flexing and extending as if it were traveling through cow and cat shapes, but it's also moving laterally, sweeping side to side. Good, let's switch directions with our circles. Feel free to take some sigh breaths or hum the breath out. Good. After your next exhalation, we'll meet with the toes touching, knees still wide for a wide and extended child's pose. Guide your hips to your heels. Maybe you rest your forehead to the floor briefly and take a little massage of the forehead against the mat. Just tilting one ear down at a time. Take a deep sip in. Release the breath completely. And then walk your hands to your seat. Guide your knees a little bit closer together here. And come to sit on your heels. Or if this flexion in the knees doesn't feel great for you today, just lift your hips up and reduce that flexion. Wherever you choose to be, inhale and float the arms overhead. And as you exhale, open up the arms, rotate your heart to the right, and we'll cross the left hand to the right thigh. Option to take a half bind with the right arm. Now guide the right shoulder down and back. Lift the heart up, take a sip in. Keep the rotation in the spine, but turn your gaze to the left. And maybe you rest your left ear down to the left shoulder. So there's lots of space along the right side of the neck. Breathe deeply here. As you inhale, we'll unwind, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, heart rotates to the left, right hand crosses to left thigh, and take a half bind with your left arm. Spine is long, heart is open. Turn your gaze to the right, rest your right ear to your right shoulder. A couple of cycles, softening into the left side of the neck. And soften your expression. We'll start to unwind again as you inhale. Gaze through center, sweep the arms up through center. Exhale, anchor the hands in front of you. Breathe in, ripple forward through cat shape. Guide your shoulders over your wrists. And as you exhale, hug your side bodies close. Lower your belly and your heart down to the mat. Press through the tops of the feet. As you inhale, draw the shoulders back. Scoop your heart forward for cobra. And then exhale, tuck navel to spine. Rest your hips back to child's pose. Take another centering breath here. We'll flow through that sequence one more time. Walk the hands to your seat. Find your kneeling shape of choice, either hips low or lifted. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, rotate the heart to the right. Find your half bind with the right arm. Take a sip in. Keep the twist as you exhale. Turn your gaze to the left. Stay for a breath. Inhale to unwind. Reach up through center. Exhale, rotate to the left. Fold the left arm behind your low back and turn your gaze to the right. Deep inhalation. Full exhalation. Unwind as you inhale, reach up. Exhale, extend the arms in front of you, anchor the hands, child's pose. Inhale, ripple forward through cat shape. Exhale, wrap the triceps back, hug your elbows close. Inhale, lead with the heart as you come up to cobra. Exhale, tuck navel to spine, tuck your toes under, and we'll lift the sit bones up for our first downward facing dog. Now, you're more than welcome to keep your hands anchored down to the mat in a more traditional expression of downward facing, or if you have blocks, option to rest your hands on the first or second level of your blocks. The variation with the blocks can be nice if you're sitting with a lot of tension in the low body, if you want to take some weight out of the wrists and the shoulders. And just imagine your heels getting softer and heavier with each breath out, and your sit bones getting lighter, higher with each breath in. Good. On your next inhalation, ripple forward to high plank. Shoulders come over wrists. And as you exhale, soften your knees, sweep your hips back up again to downward facing. 2 more times. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing. Now start to soften into the knees a fraction and walk your hands without your blocks to your feet. Keep a generous bend in the knees. An option to bind opposite hand to elbow. Rest your chin to your chest and just let the torso sway or rock from side to side. You can pedal out the legs here, bending into one knee and then straightening the opposite leg, alternating. And really try to relax the back of the head and neck. Good. We'll bring hands to shins. As you inhale, peel the shoulders back, shine your heart forward gently. Exhale, walk the hands forward to downward facing dog with or without your blocks. We'll bring the big toes to touch at the midline of the mat, the back of the mat. As you inhale, slowly float the right leg up for three-legged dog. Exhale, bend into your right knee, open up the hip for scorpion. Stay active through both hands and shoulders. Take another big sip in. And as you exhale, curl your right knee to your nose and step your right foot forward between your hands. Lower your back knee down. Inhale, the arms will sweep up, this time overhead. And exhale, reach for opposite elbow. So you're binding opposite hand to elbow here. Inhale, shoulders can retract, heart can lift a little bit more. And as you exhale, tuck your navel to your spine, tuck your tailbone under, and dip your elbows to the right for a little side bend in your lunge. Try to keep your heart lifted. Imagine stacking your left shoulder on top of your right. Good. As you inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, release the hands and step forward. Breathe in, lengthen your spine halfway. Breathe out, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, reach tall through the fingertips and lift your heart higher. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. As you inhale, lift your mudra up. Exhale, dive into your fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. Exhale, step back to plank pose or to tabletop. Pause it here. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower your heels to the right. Inhale, sweep the left fingertips up in your side plank. Exhale, left hand anchors down. Inhale, heels journey back to center. Exhale, dip your heels to the left. Inhale, right arm floats up. Lift the heart. Exhale, lower the right hand. Inhale, hips and heels to center. Exhale, chaturanga of choice. Remember, you can lower your knees. Inhale, find those strong legs. Lift your heart for cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog, with or without your blocks. Let's take a centering breath here. Letting it take its full course through the body. Bring your big toes to touch at the back of the mat. Inhale, sweep your left leg up. Exhale, bend into the knee, open up the hip for scorpion dog. Inhale, lengthen through the left leg, square off the hips. Exhale, curl left knee to nose and left foot steps through. Rest the back knee down. Inhale, Anjani, arms lift up. Exhale, bind opposite hand to elbow. As you inhale, lift the heart a little higher. Exhale, tuck navel to spine, tuck tailbone under, and dip your elbows to the left. We're breathing into the right side body that's opening here. Smoothing it out. As you inhale, arms come back up through center. Exhale, release your hands, step forward. Breathe in, halfway lift, long spine. Breathe out, forward fold, chin to chest. Inhale, guide the arms overhead. Exhale, bring hands to heart. Another cycle here. To pause, explore a little bit of stillness. Inhale, arms float up, heart lifts. Exhale, dive into your fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, step back to plank. Take a sip in at center. Exhale, dip your knees to the left this time. Inhale, float the right fingertips up, lift your heart. And then as you exhale, sweep your right hand beneath your left armpit. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold, curling it under. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep the right arm under. Inhale, lift. Exhale to plank. Breathing in at center. Exhale, dip your heels to the right. So keep those right fingertips active. Inhale, left fingertips float up. Exhale, left hand sweeps under the right armpit. 2 more. Take your time with it. Find softness, steadiness amidst this strength that you're coaxing. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, lower the left hand, lower the knees to the floor. And with or without your blocks beneath your hands, come into melting heart. Extend the arms in front of you and rest your forehead to the floor, or option to rest your chin to the floor if that feels nice along your cervical spine. So the hips are above the heels and the upper body is just melting toward the mat. Try to smooth out your breath here. Long exhalations. Bring your gaze forward. When you're ready, start to push into your forearms and your hands and guide your heart and your belly forward for Sphinx pose. So in Sphinx pose, the elbows are beneath the shoulders. Forearms are more or less parallel to one another. And you can either create less extension in your spine by walking your elbows further away from you, or you can create more extension by bringing a block beneath your forearms. Now get curious about the placement that you'd prefer to have between your feet. Notice if that makes a difference on your low back. Gently press the forearms into the surface beneath you. Guide your heart and chin forward. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, gaze over your right shoulder and hug your right heel into the glute. Now you can either stay as you are or reach back with your right hand for your right foot, adjusting your left forearm however you may need to feel more stable and comfortable. Maybe you press the right hand on top of the foot to hug the heel in closer to the glute and try to spin the elbow up. Guide your heart to the right side. Good. We'll stay for one more inhalation. And on the exhalation, start to slowly release. We'll journey through center. Take a breath in. Exhale, gaze to your left. Hug your left heel into your glute. An option to reach back with your left hand for your foot. So finding your bind, if any, of choice. Making sure that you can breathe deeply into any variation or sensation that's present here. Rotate the heart slightly to your left side. Deep breath in. As you exhale, release your bind if you have it. If you're using any props, let's just place those forward. Come to rest fully on the belly and the heart, and guide your hands back to frame your rib cage. Tuck your toes under, take a sip in. As you exhale, scoop your navel up to your spine and think about scooping up from your belly as you either press through plank or tabletop to downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale fully. Bring your big toes to touch at the back of your mat. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, bend into the right knee. Open up the hip for scorpion. Inhale, lengthen your right leg. Exhale, curl knee to nose and step your right foot forward. Keep your back knee lifted this time. Inhale up to high crescent lunge. Now try to guide your inner thighs a little bit closer together, giving them a little squeeze or a little hug. And cross your left elbow on top of your right. You can either bind opposite hand to shoulder or try to connect the hands here with eagle arms. As you inhale, lift your elbows up. And exhale, hug your elbows to your navel and your navel to spine. Option to fold here in a humble crescent. Tuck your right tricep into your inner right thigh. And rest your gaze to the back of your mat or to your navel. Notice if that right hip crease wants to sway out. Try to tuck it into the midline. One more breath. Good. As you inhale, lift those elbows up. And exhale, plant into the right foot, lift your left knee. One option here is to bring your left foot to your inner right calf or cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh and take a little figure four. Maybe you fold here in your figure four with your eagle arms and creating space between the shoulder blades across the back of your heart. Good. We're only here for one more cycle. Try to get those hips lower. When you're ready to inhale, we'll unwind, lift the left knee up again. Exhale, anchor the left foot down. Sweep your hands behind your low back and interlace the fingertips. Breathe in, heart reaches forward. Maybe you pull the hands behind you. And exhale, soften your knees, dive into a fold. Plug down through the soles of the feet, lift higher up through your seat. And then breathe deeply. We'll bend into the left knee, keep the right leg long, and then spin the right shoulder up so your heart is rotating to the right. Full breath here on this side. Good. Inhale through center. Exhale, bend into the right knee. Keep your left leg long, and now spin your left shoulder up to rotate your heart to the left side. Inhale, journey through center. Exhale, release your bind and step back to plank pose. Take a sip in, shift your shoulders forward. Exhale, find your chaturanga of choice. Inhale, heart scoops forward for cobra, or lift your hips and your knees for up dog. Exhale, we meet each other in downward facing dog again. Another complete breath to help you arrive and transition to this moment. Walk the toes to touch. Inhale, float the left leg. Exhale, bend into the knee, open up the hips for scorpion. Inhale, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, curl knee to nose, step the left foot through. Back knee stays lifted. High crescent when you're ready. Float the arms. Settle in for a moment. Find your stance of choice. Strong foundation here, pressing into the ball of your back foot. And then cross your right elbow on top of your left. Find your bind of choice. Inhale, elbows lift up. Exhale, fold here. Humble crescent. Tuck your left tricep into your inner left thigh. Keep pushing away with the ball of your back foot. Soft expression. Steady breath. Let's rise up on your next breath in. Exhale, lift your right knee up for one-legged mountain, and then find tree pose with right foot to the inner left calf, or cross your right ankle over your left thigh for standing figure four. And again, in the standing figure four variation, you can bend a little bit more into your seat, and you can fold here in your seat as well. Steady gaze, really devoting your gaze to that one point in front of you. On your next inhalation, we'll start to unwind. Exhale, anchor the right hand down to meet the left. Interlace your fingertips behind your back again. And bring opposite thumb on top this time. Inhale, shoulders retract. Exhale, heart dives down into the fold. Chin to chest. Bend into your right knee, lengthen your left leg. Spin your left shoulder up. Take a breath here in your gentle twist. Inhale, journey to center. Exhale, bend into your left knee. Right leg is long. Guide the heart to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, anchor the hands, step back to plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, chaturanga of choice. Inhale to your back bend of choice. And exhale to downward facing dog. Cleansing, centering breath, however you like to express it. Good. Final sequence here. Big toes come to touch at the back of the mat. Inhale, right leg floats up. Exhale, bend into the right knee, open up the hips, and start to get lighter on your right fingertips or your right palm. Option to slowly pivot to your left side and step the sole of the right foot behind you for Wild Thing. Glutes are active, hips and heart spin up to the ceiling. Good, take another inhalation. And exhale, lower the right hand down. Inhale, right leg sweeps up again, three-legged dog. Exhale, guide your right knee to your right tricep and step the right foot wide to the outer edge of your left hand. Lower your back knee down. From here, start to spin to the outer arch of your right foot. So the knee is dipping wide, the top of the foot is active. And then bring your right hand to your right thigh. Guide the shoulders back, lift the heart higher. An option to hug your left heel into your glute and reach your right hand back for your left foot. Encourage the front of your left hip crease to soften forward and down. One more full breath here. Good. After your next exhalation, anchor the right hand down, tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. Find a halfway lift as you inhale. And exhale, pivot your weight onto your right foot, lengthen and float the left leg. An option here to grab a block or two and rest your block beneath your left hand. Inhale, right arm floats up for revolved half moon. Try to keep your pelvis neutral and really initiate this twist from your heart space. Good. Option to bend into the left knee again and catch the left foot, just like we did in our lunge. With your next cycle of breath, we'll carefully step the left foot back, keep the knee lifted. Right hand comes to the sacrum or the low back. Inhale, left arm sweeps up for exalted crescent. Soften into the left side body. Press the left heel behind you. Take one more inhalation. Exhale, anchor the hands down to the floor. Breathe into high plank. Maybe the right foot floats this time. Exhale, chaturanga of choice. Inhale, shine the heart forward. Exhale, downward facing, or wherever you need to rest for a few breaths. Smoothing it out for these next couple of cycles. And we'll begin again, big toes touching at the back of the mat, a final time here. Inhale, left leg floats. Exhale, bend into the left knee, open up the hip. Option to stay here or to slowly pivot to your right side and step the sole of the left foot behind you. Coming into Wild Thing, encouraging this big opening through the front of the body. Space for the breath to move. Carefully lower the left hand down. Inhale, left leg sweeps long. Exhale, curl your left knee to your left tricep. Step the left foot wide. Lower the back knee down. Engage into the top of your left foot and pivot to the outer arch of that left foot. Left hand rests to the left thigh. Heart starts to spin up. Option to hug your right heel to your glute and catch the right ankle or foot in your lunge. Let every breath that moves through you help you soften and ease into the shape. Last full breath here. Start to anchor your left hand down and tuck the back toes under. Breathe in, lift your back knee, find a halfway lift of sorts. And exhale, pivot your weight off of your right foot for standing split. Maybe you bring a block beneath your right hand this time. Inhale, left fingertips sweep up for your revolved half moon. Find a focal point to rest your gaze, maybe up toward your left fingertips, or you can use your left fingertips to catch your right foot again in your revolved half moon. Last full breath here. If you have the bind, rest your left hand to your sacrum. Slowly step the right foot back. Inhale, right arm floats up for your exalted lunge. Exhale, settle into it. One more big sip in, lift the heart. Exhale, guide the hands down to the floor. Inhale to high plank. Maybe you float your left foot. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to child's pose this time. Hips to heels, forehead resting down to the floor. Breath is slowly smoothing itself out with this opportunity to pause and explore stillness. From our child's pose, we're going to journey forward onto our bellies and come into open wing. So to start, we'll reach the right arm wide, rest the heart down, and rest your gaze to the left side. And then begin to slowly press yourself onto the right side body. You can always rest your towel or your pillow beneath your right ear, the right side of your head, to bring the floor closer to you. An option to step the sole of the left foot behind you to find a little bit more rotation in the hips and also more of a rinse through the lumbar spine. Feel free to get the shoulders involved here a little bit more and drape the left arm behind your low back for a half bind. Bring your awareness to your navel and encourage the navel to move freely here with your breath. After your next exhalation, we'll start to slowly unwind and come to rest fully on the front of your body. Maybe you stack your hands to create a pillow for your forehead. And just notice any effects from the first side of open wing. We'll set up for the second side when you're ready. From here, the left arm extends wide. Gaze rests to the right. Start to pivot to your left side. An option to step the sole of the right foot behind you. Option to drape the right arm behind you. Release any tension from the lips and the jaw. Soften the space around the eyes. And let the belly take up space as you breathe. Last full breath here. After your exhalation, will start to unwind and pivot all the way to the back of the body. Let's grab your block or your cushion or your towel. So many different ways that we can explore this little release here in the back of the occipital lobe. So whichever prop you're choosing, I'm going to choose a block, resting it on the first or second level behind my head. And I'm going to bring the edge of the prop to kind of my hairline, or just this occipital region here behind the head. So there's these little points here, really, again, close to the hairline, that you can rest your prop and just find a gentle massaging effect against that edge. So rocking the head side to side, massaging the back of the head, that upper region of the neck, against your prop of choice. Maybe you find an area that feels particularly tender, sticky, and you take a few breaths just to massage it out a little bit, or hold that gentle pressure there. And before you move on to another place, or continue that gentle rocking motion from side to side. And you can either keep the soles of the feet to the floor to support the low back, or you can rest the soles of the feet together and let the knees rest wide in bound angle. And the arms just relax wherever it's most comfortable. We'll take a few more breaths here. And when you feel ready, you can release your block or prop of choice. Rest the heart and the back of the body down to the floor, to the mat, and come into a resting shape of your choice. Feel free to use your blanket or your towel for a little cushion or blanket. And just start to ease into this space again, settling into stillness. Allowing your breath to create this intimacy and this deep connection to your body in this moment. And feel the support of the space beneath you, the space that holds you and supports you. Landing softly a little bit more with each breath. Begin to reconnect with sensation in the body. Take a slow reawakening of fingertips and toes. Take up a little bit more space here with the arms and the legs. Maybe a big sip in to sweep the arms overhead. And as you exhale, slowly pivot to one side and carefully press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Feel free to grab a prop of your choice to elevate the sit bones, create a little bit more comfort for your hips and your knees. And we'll meet with the palms resting together in Anjali Mudra and a soft gaze or closed eyes. Start to lift your heart up to your hands. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Thank you again for sharing this time with me, for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope we'll be able to practice together again soon. Thank you.